Farmers growing crops using recycled wastewater from oil wells.
This is coming into your kitchen and living room every day.
Here in the Bay Area, where you can buy it at a grocery store.
Sure.
The Water District says it's safe, but some experts question the testing.
We detected chromium. They did not.
We investigate concerns that chemicals from oil wells could taint your food. Tonight at 11 on NBC Bay Area, we investigate.
With all this rain, it may seem like our drought is over, but scientists say that's not the case, especially in the Central Valley.
Now, a controversial practice meant to address water shortages drawing fire from scientists who question whether it's safe for the food we eat. We sent Stephen Stock to investigate. Stephen.
About 80% of the water used by Californians goes to farmers irrigating their crops, according to both UC Davis and the Public Policy Institute of California. In attempts to find new sources of water, some farmers are now using recycled or what's called produced water, wastewater that's been used to extract oil from deep underground to irrigate their crops and the food we eat. Some scientists are now raising concerns in this report that could make people sick.
The groundwater is so precious.
Tom Franz has been growing almonds all his life, just like his father and grandfather before him.
2,500 pounds to the acre.
Years of California drought threaten hundreds of farms like Franz's here in Kern County, prompting some of Franz's neighbors to turn to a cheap and abundant source of water. Water that's not exactly pure.
It's sort of the Wild West out here still.
The farmers are irrigating with recycled wastewater from nearby oil wells.
The safety of the crops, that's unknown right now.
To get at the oil deep underground, oil companies pump millions of gallons of water mixed with chemicals under high pressure to bring the crude to the surface. It takes anywhere between 10 and 100 barrels of water to extract 1 barrel of oil. The wastewater that comes up with the oil, what's called produced water, is pumped through filters made of walnut shells, then skimmed to remove any remaining oil, and then mixed with fresh water in large ponds like this one.
They can never get it all out, and you smell it.
Then that mixture of produced and fresh water is sent down canals, where it's used to irrigate everything from oranges to carrots, almonds to grapes.
But this water is hot, it stinks like asphalt.
At least 90 farms in the Central Valley now use more than 20 million gallons of this produced wastewater every day. While the practice has existed for 2 decades, this report, just released by scientists at UC Berkeley, Lawrence Berkeley Lab, and the PSE Energy Science Institute, raises new questions about whether the practice is safe.
There are a lot of chemicals that go down oil and gas wells.
Seth Shonkoff co-authored the scientific report.
The final and largest concern is if people are going to be exposed to them through eating these plants.
Last year, the Central Valley Water Board ordered the oil companies to release a list of the chemicals they use in the water to extract oil. The companies listed 173 different chemicals.
40% of those did rise to the chemicals of concern category.
But the companies classified 66 of those chemicals as trade secrets, making them off limits to independent analysis. Even so, these reports show at least 10 chemicals on the list are possible or known human carcinogens.
We do not know enough to be able to come to any firm conclusion on it.
It could be safe.
It could be safe.
But it could also cause cancer.
It could. It could, and we have a lot more to look at.
Smell this? You smell that? That's like a kerosene smell. That's oil. And you see that steam coming off? That's hot oil wastewater.
Scott Smith works for Water Defense, a nonprofit group focused on clean water.
You can't test water for a split second.
Smith tested water in the same locations in Kern County where the oil companies found little to no chemicals.
I mean, I want nothing more than to prove that these contaminants aren't going into the air, aren't in the water, and aren't a threat to the crops.
By testing in deeper water and for longer periods of time, Smith says he found something altogether different than what the oil companies' tests showed.
We detected chromium. They did not. We detected nickel. They didn't. We detected the light hydrocarbons. They didn't even test for it. You can't find what you don't look for.
The produced water has not significantly affected the water uptake in the trees.
Blake Sandin is an irrigation engineer who has worked closely with this produced wastewater.
The analyses that I have seen, in many cases, show a detection of those materials, but quite often even below drinking water standards.
The Coelho Water District, which is responsible for the water in these canals, conducts its own monthly and quarterly test. The agency has concluded that the water is safe for irrigation.
Do you think people who buy these crops know about this right now?
No. This is coming into your kitchen and living room every day.
All they can say is it hasn't been proven definitively to be dangerous yet. Well, we're not using it on my land.
Chevron Oil Company, which sells a lot of this produced water, declined numerous requests for an interview, but a spokesman did send us a statement that reads in part, quote, "Protecting people and the environment is one of Chevron's core values. Coelho's blended produced water supply met all applicable regulatory standards for agricultural use and showed no cause for concern." We also asked Coelho Water District to sit down and discuss these issues with us on camera. They've promised to do just that within the next couple of weeks. We'll bring that to you when it happens. I'm Stephen Stock, NBC Bay Area News.